guys, it's actually not an eating video today. It is gonna be a story time. So that's gonna be a little different.
Unfiltered Mother here. Zane wants to tell stories, so that's what we're doing. And he is ready.
Yeah, but we have to alternate.
Okay, but he's going first. He's already got one in mind.
So, I remember when my mom, we first moved here, I was first getting into preschool, and I remember that we went to, we went to the park because every day after Head Start, we'd go to the Sugar Shack. And like every single day pretty much, I don't know, but I feel like it was every single day we'd go to the Sugar Shack and we just do something. And there's a park there. And I remember my mom was looking through the newspaper and there was an ad for a substitute teacher. So she took it and it was at the preschool. So I got to see her every day. And she was the receptionist, she was a nurse, and sometimes she would sub for teachers. And she'd be in the lunchroom, like making everything look nice and teach. And she taught the children manners. And I remember one time, I don't know what I was doing, we were watching a video. And I decided in the classroom, and I decided to put my little hand inside of the chair. And I couldn't get it out, so my mom had to go in there. And she had to take my hand out of the chair in front of everybody, because I got it stuck in there.
Yeah, you guys know how they have like the plastic chairs with like the little slits in the back? I don't know what the heck he did. He just slid his hand in there. And he was actually really well behaved, but he did this 2 or 3 years in a row where he licked the frozen pole outside.
In a row.
Yes, they called me 3 years in a row. And we're from Jersey, so one of the years I took a picture of his tongue. It looked exactly like the state of New Jersey. The way it ripped the skin off of his tongue. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's another thing that he did. Freaking dork.
I have a really good story for today. But you have to go because you were alternating.
That was it. I told you a tongue story.
Oh, we have to do more though. Just think of some alternator. So today, I was with Miss Shawcroft, and me, this girl Janelle, and Naomi, I was helping them with their bird project. And I was like, Miss Shawcroft, and then Miss Shawcroft. Yeah, I did say it. Okay. But Shawcroft, she said, well, I'm gonna say Miss Shawcroft, it's weird. Okay, anyway, but Miss Shawcroft, we were outside. I mean, she had a meeting with our old principal, and his name is Mr. Tichy. And we were going out, and he had 2 dogs in his truck. And he had egg cartons on the roof of his car. And he was super nice. And we were running because they had to leave to go to the other school. And our new principal was just sitting there because we had to go through out the front doors. And he was just standing there like, what were you guys doing in like the front door? Because he thought we were skipping. I mean, I guess that's how it looked because we just ran out of the front door with our counselor. But he was like,
you're skipping with your counselor? What kind of counselor do you have?
But we were going and saying, like, well, why were you guys outside? And we're like, oh, because Mr. Tichy's out there. And then, I mean, that sounded worse because it's like we just went out to decide to go see a teacher. So it wasn't any better. And then I realized, like, oh, we're Miss Shawcroft, let's go. But it was kind of funny because he thought we were skipping.
That's your story?
Yeah, it's my story.
Oh my gosh. That made me think of the first time I tried to drink beer. I was in junior high, and my girlfriend took a beer at the junior high, and she kept it in her locker. And then after school, she was like, let's go to the lake.
The same school, like.
Yes. She's like, pretend you missed the bus, and have your mom and dad come get you. Or someone come get you, or just tell them my parents will come pick you up, and we'll go to the lake and share the beer. And my parents were super duper strict, but I was brave enough to do it. I was actually brave enough to do it. But this same friend, I guess she dated older guys, but I thought she was just kidding and just like talking crap, you know, like to sound cool. She's like, oh my God, my boyfriend's like 23, like we're partying all the time and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And she's like, he's got a friend, like if you're interested. And I was like, yeah, totally, give him my number. I thought she was just talking crap and I was playing along because I was a dumb kid. And then this guy called me with this super deep voice, and he was obviously a man. And I was like, oh shit! He scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh my gosh, this man is actually like dating little girls. Like, what? It scared the crap out of me. I was like terrified that he actually called me, and I was also freaked out that she was talking to older men. I was just like, well, this girl is like way too cool for me. I am never hanging out with her again. I can't do it. She's too cool for me. I'm a little wussy.
Did you get in trouble?
No, I didn't tell anybody. I just kind of stopped hanging out with her. Like, I was nice to her always, but like I just stopped hanging out with her. I was just like, I need new friends. I need better friends.
This this person is like trying to, I'm like underage, and she's trying to like get me together with some like 30-year-old over here.
I know. I don't remember if he was 21 or 23, but I know he's one of them. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I thought we were just talking crap like kids do, you know, like pretend stuff. She was not pretending, guys. Like, she really meant it. When this guy called me, I was like, I just hung up on him. It scared the crap out of me. I could not believe like that happened.
I have another really traumatic story, guys.
He's had such a traumatic life.
I really have.
Hurts.
So I remember one time, okay, and
Wait. Okay, keep going.
and we were at the Dairy Queen, okay, like the ice cream shop. If you guys don't know, you probably know, but we went to Dairy
Was
Queen.
this your first date when you were in 3rd grade or 4th grade?
I think it was like every week with my friend. That
I
was
do
super
remember when
fun,
you
though.
asked me for money for your girlfriend to take her out for ice cream
I did
when you
that.
were like in 4th grade.
I did that like every day though.
I know, but he used to ask me for money to take his girlfriends on dates after school for ice cream when he was like in 3rd or 4th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was so adorable because I'd go pick him up like an hour later or whatever, and I'd have to go sit in the corner and just kind of like watch him because I knew all of them because I worked at the school before, so I knew everybody, but it was so funny.
Anyway, but what was I talking? Oh yeah, we went to Dairy Queen. Okay, and it was when I lived at my grandparents. We all did, and I went to Dairy Queen, and we all went there. And I got a call, and it was like one of the cones covered in chocolate or whatever. Okay, and I'm walking to the dining room, and there's a little carpet gap for some reason, and I trip, and the ice cream goes all over the carpet in the dining room, and I didn't even get to take one lick of my cone. And it all fell.
How do you remember these things? You're such a dork.
And like, and I was so sad that I didn't get to take a lick out of it. And we did go back.
Oh God.
And I didn't even get to eat my ice cream. And everybody else was eating their ice cream in front of me while I was on the floor, covered in my ice cream cone. And they still ate it in front of me when I got cleaned up. I think the nicest thing they said to me when I think the nicest thing anyone said to me when that happened was my dad. And he was like, "Oh well, that sucks, buddy."
That is the funniest thing ever. You made that sound so dramatic, and it is hilarious. Oh my gosh. I watched my dog get murdered in front of me when I was a little girl.
I think we're even.
You made yourself so much worse. Whoa. Whoa, that was so funny. This one's for you, buddy. face. My throat hurts. Wow.
Your turn now.
That was a good one. Okay, so in 4th grade, we had our desks like lined up in rows like this, right? So you had to walk this way in order to get out of your row behind all the chairs. But you had to be really careful because you had to push your desk in and then say, excuse me, and walk behind all these chairs. And then like you had a row right behind you of desks. Well, I wasn't feeling very good. But I was always making excuses to go to the nurse too.
Me too.
So, but I wasn't feeling very good. So like I got up and right away, like I knew something was really wrong with me. And then I fainted. So like I faint and I drop to the ground, and I remember like when I was coming to, there were backpacks on the ground by me, and my girlfriend from the desk in front of me was kicking me. Like, get up, what are you doing? I remember thinking like, why the heck is she kicking me? But I was so confused because I had just fainted, and like I'd fainted before, but not at school, so I was like really confused about it. So I had to get up and go to my teacher to tell her like, I just fainted, something's wrong. And I had like hit my head like really hard and whatever, but I remember Miss Perea, like she didn't even send me home or anything. She's just like, oh, you look really sick, you're really pale. Here, go lay down in the nurse's office for a little bit, and then you can come back to class in like 10, 20 minutes. Like, okay. I remember my friend Alicia was like, I don't know if it was Alita or Alicia, but one of them was like kicking me. She was like, what the heck are you doing out here? Get up! I was like, what the heck? She had no idea I fainted, but yeah.
And your friend just kicking you in the head.
Well, can you imagine just watching somebody walk and then whoosh, she's like, are you taking a nap? The kids back then were rough, and I was always like fighting at school, and like I was like a tough kid, so she was just like kicking me hard, like, get up, what are you doing?
I have another really traumatic story, guys. So
I don't know if I can handle this. I love your traumatic stories.
Actually, it's not a traumatic story. I'll tell it next time. But I'm gonna save it for like the next story. But I remember, you know, it's really weird. In elementary school, I think I got a concussion like every single year. Like every single year. I think I sprained my ankle there. I think I like got like 4 or 5 concussions in elementary school. Like it's not even a lie.
Yeah, and they did not take stuff very seriously at school.
I remember one. I was like, I really needed to use restroom, okay? This was traumatic, okay? And it was PE class, and I really needed to use the restroom. And she wouldn't let me go, because as soon as I raised my hand, the other kid raised his hand, and she picked him to go use the restroom. And I asked, and then she was like, and then she didn't let me go, because she thought I just wanted to go, because he went. And I was there for like an hour and 30 minutes doing jumping jacks. I needed to use the restroom the whole time, and it was so horrible. And my stomach started cramping. You know, like when your stomach starts to cramp and it won't go away for a while. I started to get that, and when I slowed down, she'd she'd be like, "Stop slowing down, Dave. Let's get that workout going on."
It's like, I want to work out all over your floor if you don't let me go to the bathroom. Oh gosh.
And I remember in PE one time, for some reason, I was walking backwards because I was going to go down and tie my shoe. And when I was walking backwards, this is how I got one of my concussions, by the way. It's a super stupid story. But I was walking backwards because we have to run a lap before we can go to recess. So I was walking backwards and I noticed my shoes untied. So I go, and as soon as I lean down, I trip on my shoelace backwards, and I land on the back of my head. Like, just the
smart.
Yeah. And you go now.
Do you remember when you did actually get a concussion at school?
I know.
From that big turtle swing?
It wasn't the turtle swing. It was the hand one, and I was on the hand swing, and you stand up and you get the top, and both can spin, and there's like no limit to the speed. And I was going so fast, and for some reason, I think my hand got sweaty because they're made out of rubber, and I was like close to something. So I think my hand was getting sweaty, and it flew off, and there's concrete right there, and I flew off, and my head landed on the concrete right there, and it really hurts.
Yeah, no calls from school when any of this stuff happens ever.
It was because
He
I
could come home with like huge bruises on him, and I have to call the school and be like, "What happened?" "Oh, he got hurt at recess. The swing came down and hit him in the face." Why didn't I get a note of this? Or I sent him to school with a leather jacket, and somehow it ripped. How did a leather jacket rip? "Oh, one of the girls was pulling on it, and you know the seam ripped." I'm like, how do you guys not take notes of like when stuff like that happens? Because I don't expect perfection, but especially if my kid's getting hurt, maybe make a note of it.
I remember this.
Because I know, like, when we were working for the schools, you have to do that stuff.
I remember in elementary school, it was the best thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. There are these swings that were like super cool. It was like a shell, and you had to put it down because they were like for like young kids who couldn't swing, and everyone would like them because they were just really comfortable. And it was on them, and the other boys were hanging out while I was swinging, and they were calling this one girl another name, but she doesn't get called names, and she goes over and she literally picks up the boy, and she picked him up and dropped him, and he landed on the floor, and it was the best thing ever. And I felt bad because I was his friend, but it's so funny because like he's acting all tough, and then she just goes over there, and he's like, and she's like flinging him around because like he's like a piece of paper, and what happened? And I'm on the swing, and it's super close to the rubber part. She swings him, and it hits the side of my swing, and it's super metal. It's like super plastic. And
Green shells?
yeah, the green shells. He
Yeah,
hit
those
that,
are hard.
and he started crying, and it was like super funny, but not in like a rude way. But it was really funny.
Well, I think sometimes when a bully gets their lunch handed to them, that's kind of what they get.
It was funny. Like, you go now.
I don't know if I have any.
I have another traumatic story.
Let's hear your trauma, Zane.
So I remember one time there was this one. Okay, her name was. It started with an L, okay, and we would hang out. And I went to her house one time, and there is a super nice house at the end of the road, and it was really weird because her neighborhood was really bad, and some person didn't have a sidewalk, okay, and there's a big hole in the middle of where there's supposed to be sidewalk. I mean,
Sidewalk, guys.
Sidewalk.
So bad.
A sidewalk. Okay,
This is all
sidewalk.
going the wrong way.
And I'm walking on it, and my leg, my leg just falls in there, and I sprained it, and I didn't want to do anything or like be a whip, so I'm walking around.
You didn't want to be a whip, guys. You didn't want to be a whip.
I'm walking around the whole time, and like every single step I take, my foot is just aching. And
step by step.
oh my god.
Sorry, it's just these words you're saying.
Every step I take is like making my foot hurt, and like I'm tearing up, and we get in the car because I'm like, oh, I'm tired, I want to go home. And that's why I was crying. So I get there, and I walk as normal as I can through the living room because my grandparents are there. And then I get to the stairs, and I just start crawling up the stairs. And I'm like, Mom, and she sees me.
Thank God that you hurt your
And
foot.
I was crawling up the stairs, you know, and I get up there.
You're gonna cut your finger.
And like I had to get icy hot and bandages, and like
I have a better story, guys. Let's abandon this one.
Okay, let's bandage it.
Let's tell them about when you called me in shock from Nana's house because you were doing a magic trick.
That was so crazy. I was spending the night in Nana's game,
I should upload some photos on this one.
and literally I felt so bad because I didn't want her to think it was her fault at all, and I really just wanted to go back to her house and spend the night again. But
He was on drugs and he could not.
I was walking, okay, and I was in her living room, and I watched this video about if you put all three hands and you touch a light bulb, it'll put on. And I stepped down and kneel down, and she has a crochet hook.
Is what he heard.
And I
guys.
heard that. I'm like,
Oh, shoot.
And I felt it on my foot. I'm like...
And they thought he was in a trance trying to get ready to do magic. And they're like, hey, we don't do magic like that in this house. That's from the devil.
And I'm like, I think there's something in my foot.
And it's not Satan.
And I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, don't be mad. Don't be mad at Nana. Don't be mad at Nana. And just like, and then she's like, what? And I'm like, I'll tell you, but don't be mad at Nana.
Right, because I didn't talk to my parents in a few months because I had been mad at them.
Yeah, and it was like one of the first times she let me go back. So I was super sad.
Right, so he doesn't tell me anything, right? So he's like telling me, I know he's in shock because it occurs to me that he's telling me all these details about nothing, but he keeps telling me not to be mad at my mom. So I'm like, dude, what do you freaking want? What is going on? And he's like, so, like, we were standing in a circle, and I was going to do a magic trick, and then I was like, all right, everybody touch hand. And I'm like, what's up with all these details? And I'm thinking, like, something is definitely wrong with my kid, because he tells a lot of details that are unnecessary, but he's, like, going out of his way, and he's, like, very monotoned, and, like, just acting really odd. So I'm like, you called me, like, 4 times in a row from Papa's phone. I'm not talking to Papa, so I didn't answer. Then you called me from Nana's phone, and now I'm answering because it's obviously an emergency. What are you trying to tell me? And he's like, so I stepped on a crochet hook, and it went through my foot, and it's in there at least 2 inches. And I'm like, what? I'll be right there. But don't be mad at Nana. Don't be mad at Nana. So I get there, and I'm not kidding you. See these scissors? Like the metal part of the scissors? The crochet hook is at least just the metal part deep in his foot. Not kidding. Yeah, so we had to go do x-rays and stuff. Doctor scares the trash out of him because he wants to pull it out without anesthetizing it. And I'm like, no. So he scares the crap out of Zane, trying to tell him that it's gonna hurt worse to put a shot to numb it than it is to pull a crochet hook with the hook side inside of his foot, which is resting against the bones, like these bones right here, right? The hook is in between these bones with the hook part resting there. He's trying to convince Zane that it's going to hurt worse to pull that out with no numbing than it is to put a shot, numb it, and then pull it out. And Zane's like, my mom's really smart, but this is a doctor. So, and I'm like, I've had like 20 surgeries, and not all of them have I had to be completely down for. And sorry, out of experience, blah, blah, blah. So this doctor wants to start arguing with me, and I'm like, not arguing with you. Sorry, no. But Zane goes into a panic attack. This whole time he's been totally chill. He's like actually very relaxed. Zane goes into a panic attack. They end up having to give him a shot for the panic attack, which he has a reaction to. He starts seeing all kinds of things in the room. He's like going in and out of seeing all kinds of things.
I don't even remember.
He's having a bad trip, let's say. So I'm having to like explain to him like, your brain is telling you these things, but they're not really here. And I have it timed to like the second pretty much when he's going in and out of these phases. He keeps forgetting that it happened and anticipating that it's happened. So I have to explain to him it's already been taken out, yada, yada, yada. So we get out of the emergency room. My car has never failed me. Get out of the emergency room, the car won't start. He wants to walk home about 13, 14 miles because he's high as a kite because he's reacting to this medication that they gave him to take this thing out of his foot. Mind you, the doctor had convinced him before that to try to get it pulled out without anesthetic. So Zane's like, okay, you can tug on it a little bit. And the doctor actually barely pulled on it. And he's like, I can feel it against my bone. No, thanks. He didn't even feel when the doctor gave him the numbing shot. But he doesn't remember any of that. But he is still reacting to the medication they gave him for the anxiety, which sucks because he still gets panic attacks occasionally due to that medication that they gave him, which is BS because they wouldn't have had to give them or him that if the doctor had not scared the trash out of him and just given him the anesthetic in the first place. So, moral of the story, know your rights and advocate for your kids.
And as soon as I got at the hospital, I wanted to go back and sleep at my grandparents.
I know, and he wanted to go straight to my parents' house, and I'm like, dude, not smart. You gotta go home. But also, I did start talking to my parents again after that, so it only took him getting injured. And he had to be on crutches for like a good few days after that.
And the 2 days after, we had a barbecue, right? Yeah, we had a barbecue, all of us.
I don't know, I remember that. I don't remember that.
We all had a barbecue 2 days after. It was during
Good stories. Summer, summertime. Stop it, you don't know the song.
You're like, stop
Stop
it.
it, I'm gonna trap your ice cream.
I don't have ice. Oh.
I'm gonna drop your chocolate cone.
I have another thing that's sad, okay? I remember that we used to live there, it was really early on, and there used to be a little car. It was like red and black, or orange and black. Some type of red and orange and black.
Papa's oldie?
Yeah.
The red and white one?
Oh yeah, not red and black, it's red and white.
He was 6 months, I mean.
And I remember I used to like getting on the seat and pretending I was driving it. And then Papa got rid of the car. And then I remember going to the garage and saw that little window on the stairs, right? I always used to think I had magic eyes because I would go out in the garage and not see the window, but I look in the window and see the car. So I was like, I'm gonna see the car through the window.
You have a good memory because we moved away when you were around 6-7 months. So around that time when Papa got rid of the car.
And I remember one time when we were in traffic and I was in the back car seat, and what happened was they're fixing the lights, the lights for the traffic, because the other one was stuck on green and we were stuck on red. So we were waiting there, just watching all the other cars passing by freely. Like we were there waiting, and it felt like it was hours on hours, and it was hot in the car, and we were just waiting, and we were so close to getting home too. And oh my gosh, it was horrible. And I remember Nana, she'd come and stay with me. And I remember one time, we'd always go to Dunkin' Donuts because Dunkin' Donuts was right across the street. And because they knew me, sometimes they'd give me like free free donut holes.
Dunkin' holes. That sounds so bad after a while.
Free donut holes, right? But I remember I had a nanny. I had two of them, one Asian lady and one black lady, and I really liked her. And he started with
Sam and Angela?
Sam was my favorite, but I remember Angela. And I remember our bathroom, and I remember one time I was sitting on the couch and Angela went in there. I don't know why. I just remember Angela going in the bathroom. I don't remember anything.
When you were in the bathroom?
No, I wasn't in the bathroom.
I was like, you were potty trained and maybe she had to go check on you.
I was on the sofa. She went in the bathroom to use it. That's the only memory I have of her at all. I don't even remember anything else. But I had Sam. And Sam, oh, I loved her so much. And
She wanted severance pay after working for 3 months.
what's severance?
It's like a package you give to someone after they work for you for like a decent amount of time. You pay them like, let's say a certain amount of salary for every year they work for you or whatever. I was like, please, girl, you have not worked here long enough to get severance.
I remember Sam was there, okay? And there was a hurricane in 2011. And we were sitting there, and we had a bunch of lamps. I mean, not lamps. We had a bunch of, what's it called?
Candles, and we had to like cover the windows
And
and all that
stuff.
stuff.
And it was super rainy. And we lived like at the bottom of a hill, kind of, right? Or like the middle.
Yeah, kind of in the middle of the hill.
So like the water was running down and running down and running down. I remember another time, the electricity box started smoking in the apartment. And everyone in the apartment had to get evacuated and go into the parking lot, and there were a bunch of firefighters outside.
And I was like, oh, just kidding, I wasn't.
Remember another time, I was a baby, and my parents were just watching a movie. I was watching something or whatever, or Nana maybe. Nana might have been there, I don't remember. But you know, I was just bored, and I felt like I wanted it to snow, so I got all the baby powder, and I put it everywhere, and I put it all over. I put it all. There's a big window in the bedroom, like a huge window, and it's a window seal, and I had a picture of myself there, and I put it everywhere, and I put it on the bed. I put it everywhere, and I heard my parents coming. So as soon as I heard them, I like turned over the photo to like try cover up all the baby powder. I was like moving the blankets to try covering it.
And he was so proud of himself.
I know. I used to sleep in a crib, and I couldn't go to sleep with my mom. And it'll probably be the last story, though. I can't think of any more. But so I couldn't go to sleep with my mom, and her bed was right next to my bed, and I slept closer to the windowsill. And my mom would listen to Keen every night, pretty much, Dreams or like the Atlantic or Hamburg song. And the Hamburg and Atlantic song by Keen is reminding me of Dexter. So every night, I couldn't go to sleep because I would listen to the song and be like, is Dexter outside my window trying to snatch me?
Oh my god.
Like, I imagined him on like a grappling hook on the side of the...
You can kill kids.
I just imagine him like grappling with like sponges on the side of the house or something, like trying to get to the window and take me.
We were on the second or third floor.
And I remember one time...
But I guess, I mean, you were young, so.
Fireflies. There's a little tiny green patch right by the garage. And we were outside and we were looking at the fireflies and they were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's my last story. I'm tired and I'm done now.
Yeah, so that's us in a nutshell. Ish.
Come back in a few days and I'll tell you some more traumatizing things that happened to me.
Yeah, his life is so traumatic.
It really is.
It's crazy.
I mean, I dropped my chocolate ice cream cone in the dining room.
And you're like, tough, dude. Gosh. But I will say, we do have a bag of treats that maybe we'll try like tomorrow or in a few days. And they're just like different Chinese candies. There's like some ginger candies and then some other treats. There's probably like 6 or 7 of them that we need to try. So maybe we'll try some of those, and maybe I will show you guys this awesome Japanese noodle that I make for Zane that he absolutely loves.
But only if we get to 1 million likes. I'm just kidding. I mean, you can do that too, but...
Yeah, maybe I'll share like some actual cooked food. So, but that's it. That's our story time, and my throat still feels like I swallowed like something whole, like I don't know, it feels like I swallowed like
you were in like a
something
1940s
huge whole.
hospital and someone was putting a pipe down your throat and shoving
Yeah.
needles down there.
Yeah, that would be like a really good nightmare.
Yeah. You're welcome.
He's so creative, right? So you just like write your own nightmares. So
Yeah.
guys, love ya. See ya. Zane.
See ya.
Sign off.
Oh, okay.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
joining
guys
us
for
for
watching.
Storytime.
I really enjoyed this video and I hope you come back later. Bye guys.
Ciao.